What's good everyone, it's Smudger here. Let's talk about the Cooper Carbine assault rifle. Free release of course in the Season 1 Battle Pass, how to get it gold as quickly as possible. Pretty easy gun to use, only a couple of more annoying things rather than difficult things to get through. This is pretty much how I had it set up for everything except the attachment specific challenges, and I had the addition of the 2.5 times scope as well just because I prefer it, but you could use whatever you want in terms of that. As always, I did all of this in Das House and Shipment on hardcore with a couple of double weapon XP tokens. I didn't level this up in zombies at all for once, and this is a very good gun in Warzone, so if you're looking to level up pretty quickly, just pop a couple of double XP and just get aggressive in Ship House. It's pretty easy, it's a decent little gun, especially if you build it with this barrel in mind. Without further ado, let's jump into the actual challenges themselves. So first up we have 400 eliminations, like always, nothing to worry about. And then we have 100 headshots, nothing to worry about. You will complete these naturally, but also you have to get another 100 later on, so don't even think about them right now. And then we have 50 multi-kills. If you are in hardcore Ship House, this should come pretty easily. Even in normal core game modes, the gun's okay, it shouldn't be too difficult if you did want to go down the core path. Hardcore is easier though, you shouldn't really notice any issues with this. And then we have 5 kills without dying 30 times or bloodthirsties. Again, it's an AR, it's pretty solid, it should be fairly straightforward. If you are struggling though, if you were to get a 3-piece with a nade off spawn in Das House, you'd only need 2 more kills with this weapon and that would count as bloodthirsty. Similarly, if you were using the MK11 to get your launch kills and you got 2-piece with that, you'd only need 3 kills with this to get a bloodthirsty. So there's definitely an easier way to work around it, and just bear in mind that if you do pick up a couple of kills with a grenade or a launcher or a pistol, then you can just use this gun to finish off your bloodthirsty, but it's an AR, it should be pretty straightforward. Then we have 100 long range kills. You can do this in Das House, it's not the most efficient way. I'd recommend going into hardcore hardpoint, patrol, domination and doing it that way, purely because you get longer lines of sight. You need to be about 40-42 meters, and you have the added bonus in these modes of having the hardpoint, the patrol zone or the flags to kind of gauge how far away you actually are from places. It doesn't hit very hard at range. If you hit them in the head, you shouldn't have any issues. It should still be for a 1-shot 1-kill, or at least a 2-shot kill. If you hit them in the chest, you're going to need to pepper them a bit more. I'd highly recommend not just holding down the trigger and making sure you're tapping it, because the recoil can be a bit crazy and it just doesn't hit very hard at long range. But this sort of thing, you've kind of got to go into a game and kind of grind them out and get them over and done with. You don't need any more after these, so you can just go and get rid of them and not have to worry about them. Then we have 100 close range kills. Hardcore Ship House, 100 kills pretty much. You do need another 100 later on, but the chances are you'll complete this as you do it. Then you have 250 eliminations with 10 attachments equipped. Just make sure you've got 10 attachments equipped. That's the only stumbling block for this one, and you should be good to go. And then we have 100 ADS with the 22-inch barrel, the padded stock and the hard scope proficiency. Super easy. You could combine these with Longshots if you wanted to, because that build is pretty decent for a long shot on this gun. You could combine that and just do it that way. It was pretty easy, it's just ADS kills, bread and butter stuff. This thing doesn't really hip fire fantastically in multiplayer, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Then we have 100 headshots with the 18-inch barrel, the 9mm 60 round drum mags and vital proficiency. Now that barrel is going to take away a fair bit of firepower, of damage range, so just bear that in mind. As far as headshots go, hardcore Ship House is better, it's more chaotic, you're more likely to hit headshots without noticing, but also you can track your teammates' heads through choke points and use that as a gauge of where the enemy's heads will be if you're really struggling to center and aim properly. Also, the spawns like to flip in Das House and you should find yourself behind enemies at some point, and it's about taking advantage of those opportunities, shooting them in the head and just generally being more conscious of where you are initially aiming before an enemy even arrives in your crosshairs. And that's what your teammates are fantastic for. You can use them as a height indicator and just go from there. And then we have 100 close range kills with the 8-inch ragdoll short barrel, the .30 carbine 20 round mags, and the Cooper 45 RS stock. That barrel just decimates this gun. It is awful. It's so bad. I was like 5-shotting people in hardcore and still not getting the kill from like 10 meters away. It was painful. And don't get me wrong, it didn't take me long. It was just frustrating to have this at the end of the grind. It wasn't difficult. It was just, yeah, like I said, just more so frustrating than anything else. You do have to bear in mind that this gun with this barrel is pretty awful. And so you got to treat it like you need to get the first shots in first, and you need to make sure you're seeing enemies before they see you. Other than that, you should be pretty much good to go. I think the gameplay that's been on screen is from this challenge, just to show how frustrating it is. It's not great, but it's definitely not the worst case scenario we could have had for one of these attachment specific challenges. And that should be the Cooper Carbine Gold. I'm kind of glad it's out of the way. It's a okay AR, it's definitely not good. Probably more of an SMG in my head, but it is what it is. If I have missed out on anything that you want more information on, just drop me a comment below and I'll do my best to answer it. As always, if you did enjoy the video, do give it a like. If you are new here and you want to find your way back, hit that subscribe button. And as always, I hope you have a good day and I'll see you next time. Bye.